The guard pulling across. Oh, it hit we call that the butt ball. That's when you throw it right up against your own hiney there.
Yeah, the classic butt ball.
Yeah. We've had the butt fumble, right? That's the butt ball right there.
Hey, welcome to the Fantasy Comic Book Community Fantasy Football Show. And let me bring in some of my other guests. Zach, welcome.
Hello.
Brad, how are you?
What is going on?
We are week 3 of the Fantasy Football League.
Is it gone anything like either of you guys thought so far?
No. Does any football season go the way you think it's going to go?
No, it can't. But this one just seems extra strange.
It has. There's been some really strange games, and teams that I didn't think would do well have done well. And, team Cincinnati Bengals, 0-2, just some craziness.
And who'd have thought that Dallas would do that with the backup quarterback?
Yeah, that was a surprise. I'm looking at this week's games too. I'm in a knockout pool. You got to pick a winner each week, and it's a tough week. You've got the Bills. The Bills are playing well, but they're on the road against Miami, who's playing well.
Right. It's going to be a test for Miami.
Yeah. Brad, any thoughts on the Miami Bills matchup?
Yeah, it's obviously very nervous about the game. They're an excellent team. I don't know if there's an advantage. I mean, playing at home typically I would say is an advantage, but they're probably happy to get down to some warm weather, and I don't think that stuff affects the Bills. So you just have to be creative, and you won't be able to make any mistakes against these guys and win. You can't get down by 21 points again and expect to come back against these guys. So they were a strong defense before they added Von Miller, and he just brought he's playing as well as he has in a long time. So there we go.
Yeah, I was surprised. The Bills really kind of dismantled the Titans the other night. I mean, Titans had played the Giants week 1, and that was a really close game. I watched that entire game, and so the Titans just were off a little bit, but the Bills just
it was
Yeah,
unholy.
that was like
what the Bills did to the Titans.
Yes. I mean, basically the fourth quarter. The Bills starters were out, and it wasn't pretty. So, but Miami has their offense has played well. So,
I think the only weakness for the Bills is their running back situation. I don't think they've got they haven't found that bell cow type running back yet. And if they ever do that, I mean, they're their leading rusher. I think Josh Allen is 1 yard from being the leading rusher for their team, and he's several attempts less than the team leader in rushing. So he's not Lamar Jackson, but he's certainly somebody you've got to account for, and that's that makes the defense. It makes them sit back and wait because. If they think he's got a chance to run, your safeties have to be paying attention to so it just creates some problems.
Yeah, no, the ability to pick up a third down, first down on third down, with the QB's legs is always, drives teams crazy. So
absolutely. So yeah, I'm nervous, but it's one of those deals where you got to play the game. I was about ready to stop watching last week, and I'm glad I didn't. So that was unreal.
I remember thinking, because the Steelers were the first team to go down, and I was talking to a friend, and she said, "I hope the rest of the AFC North goes with them." And 10 minutes later, the Jets came back to beat the Browns. 10 minutes after that, the Dolphins, in one of the most miraculous comebacks I've seen in a long time, beat the Ravens. And I was thinking, where Tua's playing like we thought he could, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Baltimore-Miami game at all, but I saw, I was checking scores, looked at the score, and I think at one point it was like, 35-10?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that game's done.
Yeah.
That's right. And then it was incredible to watch Tua just run that offense.
Yeah. I mean, typically you would think, Ravens defense with, that kind of lead, second half, they're not going to give that lead up.
No. And they're just frightening.
I saw one of the things that there he is. What's going
We've got
on?
the hey, wait a minute. We'll let these two talk.
Good luck. You're gonna need
Bills, Miami.
We'll see. It's going to be. I was already saying it's going to be difficult. But I tell you one thing that's different this year that I'm interested to watch is having an offensive mind. I was looking at some breakdown of the game last week and how Miami was able to come back. And it was interesting to see the mismatches they created. And they would run they had their fullbacks lined up in the slot a lot. And that created opportunities to get the ball on the perimeter to Hill, and you basically just put another blocker out there. So I don't think with the previous coaching staff we would have come back last week. So it was interesting to see like how they did that. But you've got to. I've already said it. You've got to play error-free football against the Bills to even have a shot. So that's going to be the tough thing.
I just think Tua's going to have to get that ball out of his hand in less than 2 seconds every time. The pass rush the Bills have assembled right now, and we can talk about the secondary another time, but my God, that front line looks scary as hell right now. They're getting to the passer. It's hurry. Like Matt Stafford knows everything what happened, and then
they were scary before they added Von Miller, and he looks like he's playing as well as he did his first few years in the league. I mean, he's really rejuvenated that group and brought something to the table. I mean, when you add a veteran player, that's what you hope you're getting is somebody like him.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, like Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a Bills killer. I still have nightmares of Tyreek Hill, but it's new quarterback, new system. But man, Tyreek Hill is still just looking like the best receiver in the NFL right now. Like no one can catch him. So, like I said, I think it's going to be heavy pressure all the time, and the Bills will probably double Tyreek Hill and put the best player thereafter on Waddle and hope for the best. But it's going to be like everyone who's watching, take the over.
Oh yeah.
Take the over.
Like you were saying, like the defensive front is just getting in there so fast. And with the offense basically on an entire other level, they can score whenever they want. So their opponents always have to go into, we have to throw to play catch up, which feeds right into that pass rush. And I think that's why they just seem to be so suffocating to everybody they're playing.
Like, let's be honest. This game is going to go crazy bonkers high, or it could be something like just
or it ends
14-10
defensive shootout.
Yeah, just 14-10. Like because to me, being a Bills fan since I was 12 years old, it's not the Patriots that I would consider the Bills' biggest rival. It's still Miami, Buffalo. That to me, that's the big rivalry in the AFC East. Yeah, Tom Brady came in and the Patriots dominated for so long just because of mismanagement for the three other teams that were that are in the division. But now that Buffalo and Miami is now catching up to what Buffalo started a few years ago, I'm hoping that rivalry that was massive in the 70s carried on into the 80s, finally gets to show up this week. And man, Tyreek Hill just
it'd be great to see the Bills and the Dolphins back at it again.
Yeah, just like Kelly Marino.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. I'll definitely be watching that one on Sunday. And it was I know we'll get into last week a little bit and what there was some guy was sweating bullets last week with I went against Couple Comics last week, and that came down to a one point
He squeaked out
game.
the
But
win. Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting to see. Well, I had the mindset that I think I started Miami's defense, and I was like, they were ranked 2 or 3, I think, in fantasy points going into last week, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm a fan of let your defense ride and see what happens, because it's so easy to overthink things doing this that you can make you can just, I mean, you can sit here and crunch this stuff, and I'm kind of the mindset now that I just need to go with my gut and just and not overthink things and just go with matchups and see what happens. But that didn't. I got negative 8 points by my defense last week, so that's why it kept us really close. But we had some close ones last week. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it already in 2 weeks. We've seen some ups and downs. Like, Barkley had a big week for the Giants in week 1, went crazy, and then he was kind of shut down in week 2. And a lot of the big running backs, Henry, they haven't. Some of the top tier running backs really haven't got going yet.
My God, Henry did nothing against nothing.
Oh yeah, against the Bills,
like
he did
15 yards.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a touchdown, right? He doesn't have. I don't think he's got a touchdown in the year.
No, he got a touchdown, but I think he only had like 15 yards rushing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did get through. He was their first touchdown, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they made him a complete non-factor.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've been to tons of Bills games. The last Bills game that I went to that was beautiful weather in late November was against Tennessee. And I was surprised the amount of Tennessee fans that were there. And it was the final year that their running back before Henry, that was the MVP they had, Chris, I forget. That really slim guy with dreads. The Y2K. C2.
He was fast running, little,
right?
Like a
really
small,
slim.
He had a 2,000 yard season. That was Chris. I can't remember his last name.
Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Big generic name.
Right.
Yeah.
And ever since the Music City Miracle, they've always had a good running back. Then they had an MVP running back, and then they turn around and get a Hall of Fame running back after that in Henry.
Yeah.
So where I was going was, every time I go to see the Titans play the Bills, which is a lot, they play them hard, man. It's like Mariota, the last game I went to, actually, I believe it was the Bills home opener a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Mariota had a bad game. Bills picked them a few times, and there was a pick 6 involved. But my God, Henry was young, may even been his rookie year, and even then, scary as hell. He's just a different type of human being. Like, he looks like a middle linebacker playing running back. Yeah, it's just a question of time. So I don't know who has Henry in our league, but whomever does, like, it's just a question of time before you get 40, 45 points out of
he's
1
not
week.
Just out of him every week.
Yeah. And the fact that he's had 2 non-productive weeks, at some point, week 3, week 4, he's going to put up a 30, 35 point week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
his
question
time's
of time.
coming. You can't not play him for sure.
Yeah.
What's up, Beckerman?
You.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with lineups, and we had a lineup question here about now Coop. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yes.
I just think Cleveland is flat right now.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh isn't exactly lighting the world on fire.
Right.
I don't know if Gabe Davis is going to be playing Sunday.
Yeah. Because if he's healthy, definitely.
Yep. Yeah, Gabe Davis is the number 2 in Buffalo. If he's healthy, you don't have to think twice. You put Davis.
Yeah. And then that would come down to Cooper versus Johnson. And honestly, in this week's matchup, I don't know. I think maybe Cooper, unless Trubisky goes rogue and just starts calling his own plays.
Right before we went live, I just saw they were talking about Trubisky hasn't done well with the short pass. I mean, it's created, ball through the hands and you get a pick. They kind of want him to air it out a little bit more, and that would definitely help with Johnson. But
and if you notice, the best plays they've had, the biggest plays they've had, is when the play has broken and he's run around and just made his own thing work. Those big times he's hit Freiermuth down the way. I don't know.
Yeah.
When Snoop calls out the offensive coordinator, it was a fantastic video.
Well, and Cleveland's playing Pittsburgh, so
yeah, and Cleveland is confused. Their defensive backfield is confused.
I think they're flat. I think Cooper might be the way to go.
I think in this one, just because right now I trust there's more opportunity with Jacoby Brissett in that offense than Trubisky in this current offense.
Look at these quarterbacks we're talking about.
All right. Hey, I'm not giving up on Mitch yet. I want to see him take the reins off of him.
Just like Jacoby Brissett, after Andrew Luck's season there, walking away, it's just how is he still in the league?
Oh, Canada?
Yeah, how is he in the CFL? Why is he in the CFL?
I don't know. I don't think they want him.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange quarterback year so far, right? I mean, we've got some starting quarterbacks that you just didn't expect to start, and then quarterbacks on different teams that you'd never really, with Baker Mayfield now on Carolina, it's kind of a weird year.
But that right there, Rosko, the one thing Cleveland did for me, thank you, Nick Chubb, last week. He went ham.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Again, right before we went live, I pulled up. So in fantasy points, if you look at your top 5 quarterbacks, number 1, Lamar. This is in fantasy points. Number 1's Lamar Jackson.
Not sure.
Number 2 is Josh Allen. Now they're separated by 1 fantasy point. Lamar Jackson has 60 total points. Josh Allen has 59. But then you look at the next 3, and it's bizarre, but number 3 is Jalen Hurts, and he's got 56 total points. So he's only 4 off the lead. Carson Wentz is number 4.
I never would have guessed Wentz.
No, not
and then two was number 5. So
but Wentz,
that's where we sit with quarterback as far as fantasy points are
concerned. The Eagles are still undefeated, are they not? I thought I saw an NFL meme where there's a bunch of teams putting their hands in, and then the Teletubbies put a hand in and represent the New York Giants.
Wait, we'll get to the Giants. I don't know. Something in the air down in the New York, New Jersey way. I think maybe they're starting to turn the corner.
They got themselves a pretty good head coach, I got to admit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm shocked that they actually started 2-0. I figured this year would be, maybe 500, maybe a little bit less, better than they've been the last couple of years. I didn't think they'd jump out to a 2-0 lead. I mean, both games that they've won have been close. By no means, but I think, they're going to get better. But the coaching staff, I think, is really just trying to focus on evaluating the players, right? Because it's not their roster. Some of the draft choices obviously were, but the majority of the players are really not their roster. And so they're really in evaluation. Let's see, move the franchise in a positive, way. And then, we'll continue to build each year. So they have to be happy with, being 2-0.
Well, what's the division right now? I know the Cowboys are 1-1. The Eagles
Cowboys 1-1. Washington is 1-1.
Okay.
And Eagles 2-0. I mean, the Eagles have looked the best out of the team. So
I had a feeling when during the draft when nobody was reporting on the Eagles. It's like, why are they not talking about Philadelphia? What is Philadelphia getting up to? And then you start seeing the moves they make. It's like, okay, we shouldn't be ignoring Philadelphia. Like, they're doing stuff. And now look at them.
Yeah, no, they played well. I was surprised. I thought the Vikings would play them a little bit better.
I thought
Like
they'd
that-
put up a fight.
Like Justin Jefferson hurt me this week in a bunch of other my leagues.
Oh, my God.
Like the Vikings fell flat.
Well, here-
I have Adam
Justin
Thielen in
Jefferson
another
might have-
keeper league, and
Not only have, 40, 50 yards?
yeah,
That can't be done.
Yeah, with the weapons they have, that was pretty shocking.
yeah. Philadelphia spanked them. Let's just be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here. Let me share this. I'll show you. Let me pull up some of the stats from our league.
The team seems to really like Jalen Hurts too. I think he's a player's player. You know, he seems to rally those guys. I think they believe in him. Whether the talking heads out there believe in him or not is another thing. But he obviously has the respect of his team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's the top receivers in our league. You got Stephon Diggs, Cup, Hill, St. Brown, Waddle. So look, top 5. You've got 2 of the Miami. You've got Hill and Waddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last week pushed Jefferson out, and he was right up there at the top. Last
They
week
had
really pushed him out.
offense. The Minnesota offense did nothing last week. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at the running backs because
And it was weird because I after the way Cincinnati played against Dallas, I was like, I might think about benching Joe Burrow for Kirk Cousins. And before that game, I was like, because Kirk Cousins rarely has a terrible game. He was thankfully on my bench, but my God, did he have a terrible game?
yeah, he's usually pretty consistent. But yeah,
That's what I mean. Like, you can count on him for at least 190 yards and a touchdown, not that.
Right. Yeah, and Burrow's just getting killed by
Everybody.
his line. He doesn't have a lot of time to.
To be fair, when you have to start off dealing with T.J. Watt and then Micah Parsons, it's not exactly something good for a new and slightly dysfunctional offensive line.
Yeah, Parsons worries me on Monday night against the Giants. He's the Dallas D is still very good.
Yes, they
it's a matter
are.
of what offense shows up.
Yeah, you can say what you want. That's why they were top for most fantasy mags that I've flipped through and websites I've visited. Dallas was the top 5 defense, everyone for fantasy.
Yep.
And the Saints too. And I kind of thought, well, I don't know about the Saints because the offense is pretty bad. And Saints aren't looking good right now.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
And they've got weapons. They've got
they always
weapons.
seem to have weapons, but yeah, they're I think the quarterback is their biggest question, right? Taking a big drop off from Drew Brees.
Yeah, they haven't recovered yet.
Yeah.
No.
And I know all about that being a Bills fan.
I was going to say Broncos fans, they're hoping that they can finally break the curse.
Let's ride.
But I don't know, man. They're not as scary as I thought they'd be.
Yeah, I really thought they would be a little bit better, but they have not. Wilson has not gotten off to a good start.
No, he's stuck.
No, Wilson hasn't been that good fantasy-wise for the last 2 seasons, in my opinion. I know he's had a young DK Metcalf out there, but people kind of get caught up in that whole running back drama of last year where they couldn't hold on to a running back for more than 6 quarters, for God's sakes. Running backs were dropping like flies. Or didn't Marshawn Lynch even come back for a hot minute or something like that?
Yeah.
So that kind of distracted from everything that actually Russell Wilson hasn't been that good in the last 2 years. And I know what Denver was thinking with this massive contract that they gave him, but right now they don't look. I know they won. They're 1-1 now, but come on, Geno Smith beat them, man. And I sat here a few weeks ago and said that Seattle may not even get 4 wins this year.
Oh
What did
yeah,
they do week
that was
one?
the biggest surprise.
I think
Geno
Roscoe
Smith.
may have pointed that out too
Yes,
a
he-
couple
yes,
of times.
Roscoe taught me.
The
Be careful what I say.
Clipmeister pointed
Yeah.
that out for sure.
That was actually really good. He did a good job of that. But yeah, Seattle, even Denver, man. Denver's not scary in any stretch of imagination. The way I look at them right now, they're not even a wild card team as far as I'm concerned.
On that, leading up to everything, who would you say is the most disappointing this year? I saw Rich Eisen put out his top 5, and I came up with one. I think it's the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adding Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Matt Ryan with that offensive line and that running back.
And Frank Reich is a good football mind, and that's why I would agree with you, because he's done a lot with not that much. I know they have arguably one of the best running backs in the league, but Frank Reich's done a lot without that much.
Yeah,
I think you're right on.
Tie the Texans and get crushed by Jacksonville.
Yeah. Like, Roscoe's got something there too. Cincinnati, very disappointing to me.
Yeah, I think
Saints come to mind. But yeah, probably Cincinnati, just because, like, they went to the Super Bowl, for God's sake, and we're in it. Like, they were winning it going into the fourth quarter, were they not?
Yeah, up until the last play.
Yeah, I think so. Cincinnati is certainly the big surprise for me.
Even the Rams aren't looking that hot.
But thinking about it, though, like we were saying, quarterbacks. I mean, you there. I don't know what the draft class looks like for next year, but you have so many teams that have question marks. I mean, I know we're only week 3, but the Giants are a team. They're evaluating their quarterback. You've got the Steelers. There's so many different. You've got Seattle. You've got Denver now, or unless Wilson starts to, obviously they paid him a ton of money, but there's so many teams that are going to have question marks. And I think Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson's a free agent.
As of right now, he will be.
Yeah, he didn't sign, right?
Yeah, because he wants $300 million.
Right.
And Baltimore is not going to pay him $300 million.
Right.
Nobody's going to pay him $300 million.
Yeah, that's
guaranteed. Yeah, that's the holdup, is the guarantee.
Yeah.
Unless he has, an incredible stat year, he's got to put up, career numbers.
He has to be MVP and lead them and run the table
Again.
Yeah. And win the whole thing. Then he can get his $300 million with that guarantee.
Like, it's possible. Let's be honest, it's possible.
I mean, for
Baltimore can run the gauntlet
if they wanted. Teams, anything's possible.
Yeah. Like,
well, you think of unrelated to football, but Aaron Judge, he's in a contract year, and look at the year he's having for the Yankees.
Right.
That's the time. That's the time you want to have that kind of year.
Exactly.
With that franchise, like the deepest pockets in North American sports. Let's be honest.
Yeah, right? And to come out and have this season and probably win the Triple Crown.
Yeah, he could be like the first $60 or $75 million a year player. Like,
oh my God,
that the Yankees are not afraid to spend money, man. Like,
that's for sure.
Nope.
Yeah, that's something to watch.
But the Deshaun Watson thing threw the quarterback, the contract landscape into the air. It's going to take a couple years for it to reset.
For me, it was okay. Kansas City quarterback deserved to be the most rich quarterback. And then Josh Allen signs for just a little bit under him, I believe. And then Kyler Murray goes out and gets a better contract than Josh Allen. That one kind of threw me off. And then Deshaun Watson? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Potential issues looming. That was the other thing. Paying that much money and not, him not hit the field. That's tough to. That's a tough pill to swallow.
2.5 times the Aaron Rodgers contract, And I don't think Deshaun Watson's 2.5 times as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even half the time better.
I don't think he's 25% as good as Aaron Rodgers on a bad day.
Like, I am a firm believer that football is a young man's game. And I'm 48 now, and people in their 30s playing the NFL, these are like white hair guys, in my opinion. These are guys that are at the end.
Yeah.
And it's usually only quarterbacks and the odd defensive player that gets to last that long. But my God, like, Aaron Rodgers is still so damn good. So damn good.
That's what it is. You look at the past long ones.
And that guy, Tom, down in Tampa.
Yeah. Brady's still playing. You know, Eli lasted, 16 years? Phillip Rivers, 17. Roethlisberger, 18.
Yeah, the two geriatric quarterbacks are playing each other this weekend, so that'll be an interesting matchup.
Oh, that's right. It's 234 years of quarterbacking experience coming into that game.
That's right. Yeah, Green Bay's down in Tampa, right, this week?
Yeah. And it's cool. They've got a lot of respect for each other. They just did an interview on Sports Center, and they respect each other a lot. They're both California guys, so they have a connection there. But there's some interesting games this weekend.
Yeah, I was just looking at the schedule. The Bills are early, right? They're a 1:00 game, right, in Miami?
Finally. It throws me. I'm so used for the last 20 years of the Bills' mediocrity being Sunday 1:00. I actually got used to it. So when it's primetime stuff, it throws me way off. So when they're on Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, it throws me off. I'm like, my Sunday's all messed up. Like, who am I supposed to watch? All right, which game features my most amount of fantasy players?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. My wife and I went to California to visit some family during Super Bowl. So the game started at 3:00, 3:30, and it was done by 7:30, 8:00 the latest on the West Coast. So it was so weird to be watching the game, mid-afternoon, or games start at 11 in the morning. It was really strange, but it was nice because then you had the evening, on the East Coast, the game is not getting over to 10:30, 11 o'clock. So it was a different experience.
You want to see something interesting, Brian? Take a look at the top 5 defenses right now.
Let me pull that
Let's
up.
play the guessing game before you pull it up.
I'll bet you I know one of them because Rosko had him against me last week. I saw that 25 points that Tampa Bay's defense put up against me last week. It was ungodly.
I'm going to guess the Bills are in the top 5.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
There's one there that's a surprise. I didn't.
There's two. Two in the top 5 to me is a huge
bring it up.
surprise.
Is one of them Arizona? Nope.
They're not
Yeah,
even
but-
on the
whoa.
screen, are they?
Whoa.
Jacksonville?
And the Falcons?
Well,
Yeah. I honestly was thinking, wow, the teams I was thinking aren't even on that list.
Oh,
And Dallas is a lot further down than I thought they would be.
I need that Patriots team to fall a little bit further.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
I don't think they have them. I don't think they have it this year. And Bill Belichick can only take you so far on his own.
Is this the year, guys? Is this the year Belichick loses his job, either walks away or gets canned?
It would be tough to can him, I would think. I would think he would have to make a decision, or they would probably
he's
have
not
some
gonna
kind of secession plan in place.
Yeah.
He just can't draft offensive players.
I think this year and next year, and I think Bill wraps it up. Because unless he basically sets fire to the stadium, they're not going to fire him. Not after everything he's done.
So what do y'all, Jay Kirchville?
Who could I trade DJ Moore and Cutterell for a wide receiver? Like what?
Patterson, I think Patterson's probably due. I have him in my league. I think he's probably due this week. They've got they're playing Seattle.
They're going to put some points up.
Yeah, you would think so. So you might want to be careful. DJ Moore, I think he had a decent week last week, so it might be a good time to trade him if you're looking to upgrade. But I don't know. I think Patterson might be due. I think he only had 4 points last week, but he might be due this week with up against that Seattle defense.
Yeah, he had a big week, a good week one, and then he kind of didn't do much last week. But yeah, I'd expect that he would bounce back against Seattle.
They've got to, he's playing primarily running back now. They've got to get him involved in the passing game. I mean, they need to use him, split him out, and
is he doing returns still?
Create some mismatches. What's that?
Is he doing returns as well still?
I don't know if he's doing that or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, he is a major threat in the passing attack. They need him there.
He's still fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull up.
Like Rosko said, the Colts didn't do a damn thing against Jacksonville last week.
Well, that's why they got the points for the shutout against.
Jonathan Taylor had 6 points last week. If you can hold him to 6 points, that's and he's a guy you can usually count on to check that.
I think he got like 4 touchdowns last year against the Bills. Like he's so dangerous, man.
He was a stud last year.
Yeah,
and that's why I think they're the most disappointing. Man, are they starting slow with this roster?
Mr. Beckerman.
There he is.
Ooh.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Oh, yeah. My wife works for KU. I'm
cool.
an Iowa Hawkeye fan.
Very cool.
Oh, I gotta finish dinner. Very full now.
Nice.
I see a nap in my future.
I wish I could, but that freaking team has to play in an hour.
My wife is a Steelers fan, so
I'm surprised you're not if you're a Hawkeyes fan.
it sounds
well,
like an
they've had
interesting
Hayden
marriage you have, Mike. It sounds like an interesting
Fry,
marriage.
Hayden Fry modeled the Hawkeyes uniforms off of the Steelers.
Yeah, because years ago when I was looking at colleges, I was looking at a college out in Iowa and saw so many guys walking around campus wearing Steelers jerseys. So I pulled one aside and I said, "What's up?" And they're like, "Dude, Steelers colors or the Hawkeyes colors." I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's a ton of Steelers fans in Iowa.
So the story goes when Hayden Fry took over Iowa, he was a big psychology fan of the time, but outdated psychology by today's standards. But Iowa was really bad. They hadn't been good since the 50s. And he wanted to bring back a winning mentality. And at the time, 1980, he took over. The Steelers were just coming off of a dominant 70s. And he was like, we're going to switch the team's colors. The team's colors were always black and gold, but they didn't have the exact same uniforms as the Steelers. Not even close. But he even took it to the fact where he wrote Pittsburgh, asked permission. They said it was fine. He got a uniform and copied it to a T. Like he measured everything. He wanted the stripes to be the same, everything down to a T without the Steelers symbol. And that was to give the team that winning mentality. And then the other thing he did was he painted the visitor locker room pink. Because he was big into color psychology, and pink is supposed to be a calming, passive color. So
that's funny. Ooh, did you see that? Trade Cooper and Tony for McLaurin and Burks?
No.
I don't know. I would say yes on that. It depends on if you're trying to shake your roster up. I mean, I don't know there's a lot of factors there we don't know, but if you're trying to shake your roster up to do some things.
I like
McLaurin
McLaurin better. I like McLaurin better than Cooper, but Burks and Tony, that's a wild card in it all.
Yeah, I think Tony's got a lot of upside, but you just don't know, what you're going to get out of him.
He's got a lot of upside. McLaurin's already proven to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not for shaking your roster up after 2 weeks.
True.
There's a reason you drafted him. Let it marinate a little bit.
Who wins tonight?
The Browns are favorite, right?
Yeah, the Browns are favorite, and I'll tell you who won't win, and that's the fan bases.
I think the Steelers will win.
I don't know. Part of me is thinking that they might be able to somehow luck into a win because of how disorganized Cleveland is right now.
Like week 1.
Yeah.
If Cleveland can run the ball, a little ball control, don't make mistakes, but there's the division games you just never, you never know.
Well, then where can they get Najee Harris involved? I mean, where's that guy been?
He's dealing with the foot thing that they should be resting him for, but yet they're not.
Sure,
they can't.
I like the Steelers by field goal tonight.
Well, thank God they have the 4th most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Boswell's the 4th?
Yeah, I found that out not long ago, and I was shocked that he is the 4th most accurate kicker in football history.
How long they've been keeping the records? 15 years?
Yeah, right? There was a stretch a couple years ago that I wanted to drive down to Pittsburgh and kill him.
So my wife inherited the Steelers from her dad, and he passed away the year before last. So last year was her first football season without her dad. And, she was emotionally charged to begin with, but then to have to go, we had tickets for the last home game of the year against the Steelers. Steelers didn't do well, but it was potentially Ben's last game. Then they still ended up in the playoffs. Where are they playing? Week 1 at Arrowhead. So then we go back. It was already hard enough for her having lost her dad and not being able to enjoy football with him. But to be there for Ben's last 2 games at Arrowhead, I think it took her a long time to come back this season. You know what I mean? To get excited for football again. That was a rough deal on her.
Yeah, that's tough.
I felt so bad for her. I actually brutally destroyed some woman coming up the stairs who made fun of her for wearing Steelers stuff. Oh, this lady was just being come on, you're up by like 20 or whatever, and you've got a taunter in her face. So I was like, holy crap, honey, we're in a celebrity section. Look, it's one of the hippos from Fantasia.
There you go.
Holy fuck.
There you go.
Because she was like dancing in Jill's face. I was like, it's one of the dancing hippos.
I remember. If anybody noticed, as they were doing the post-game interview, when they told Ben that because Jacksonville had beaten Indianapolis, that they were going to the playoffs, it looked like he was about ready to cry.
Yeah, it was so crazy too. Many things had to happen for that to land them there, and it all did.
Yeah, and then midway through the week, the reporters in Pittsburgh asked him what do you think about the game? He's like, we don't have a shot. Let's just go have some fun. And nobody argued with him. Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, he really said that. That was crazy.
Yeah, he legitimately said that on air. It's
was it last year that the Steelers got off to a 7-0 or 8-0, or was that 2 years ago?
No, it was the year before. They started off 11-0, and that's when Cleveland humiliated them in the playoffs.
Right.
And poor Jill, she even suffered more in the playoffs because we had extra tickets to that one, and we took Panda and Burke. So it's bad enough to watch your team lose, but to have to hang out with Burke and Panda, my goodness, the hits just kept on coming.
Well, I think the marquee matchup this week is Zach. You're up against Cardboard Crazy, both 2-0.
Oh Lord,
somebody's going down.
Because Rosko just said Burks is going to be a decent receiver for Tennessee. He is entering my starting lineup. George Pickens is having a seat this week. Because until that offense opens up, George Pickens is not going to do anything.
There's a lot of heat on him in the
what's this doing?
on draft day, and
It'll go away in a second, Brian.
He's got a great swing.
Seeing the world in a new light
That should drop off in a
starts with the
second.
right
Yeah.
opportunity. City Gold
Sit through
clients
the-
have access to preferred benefits like live
ad.
events,
Neil King stepping to the tee.
because seeing something yourself can change everything.
There we go. Yeah, so I don't know. It's there's one name in particular on that team that terrifies me. That I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Yep.
He frightens me.
Yeah, you got a pretty good matchup again for your Burrow against the Jets. Although the Jets secondary has been playing pretty well.
Yeah, it's and then
What's
Brady, who knows what he's going to do against Green Bay.
what's St. Brown's brother's first name?
I can't
Is it-
pronounce.
I was trying to pronounce it the other day. Is it Equanimous?
Yeah, like Equanimous.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, their dad's name is John.
he's really taking advantage.
John Brown. He actually was a bodybuilder. He was like Mr. Universe a couple times.
Oh yeah, I did read that.
Hey, Cole.
Oh, okay. I knew that he was some sort of a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he works. He trains them. They on Hard Knocks. They showed some of their training regimen. He's a fan of pushing them very hard to when they're training. So yeah, he looks like a solid player. He's stepping up and he's the go-to up there right now.
Amon Ross frightens me, especially who are they playing? They're playing. Oh, good. They're playing the Vikings. Oh, good. That's going to go well. They're not going to want to come out and slap Minnesota around in that division at all. You know, I think it's weird that. I think it's weird. I think he has like my two running backs backups, or vice versa, because he has Kareem Hunt and I have Chubb, and he has Etienne and I have James Robinson.
It seems like Robinson's kind of starting to work his way back to the forefront in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I'm riding that train until Etienne proves otherwise, because he can prove otherwise. But I'm going to ride Eric Robinson until he is no longer.
I'm just hoping my team's performance last week was a fluke, because that was stinky. Stinky. I had a good first week, but week 2 was terrible.
Well, yeah, look at Trev week 1, and then week 2 come back, and I mean, any given week, that's what makes this exciting. Is on any given week, any team can show out, and so you're never out of it. So, Tylox,
I think
that's some encouragement for you there, buddy.
I mean,
Yeah, and I was worried about Trev because I beat him in week 2, but so I was after he put up all those points in week 1, but.
Doesn't he have the Chiefs basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
But it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I bench Joe Burrow for Kirk Cousins? I think at some point in the future, it's going to happen. I don't think Cincinnati has it.
I have that decision to make this week, but it's Russell instead of Kurt, or instead of.
Did anyone pick up that
Burrows.
handsome devil out of San Francisco? He might be available for you.
Jimmy Handsome?
You know.
Didn't Allen want him, or somebody didn't? Wasn't
I
somebody
thought
like going
somebody
off
picked him
about
up.
that?
Porn star Jimmy.
Porn
I
star
gotta
Jimmy.
say, I felt so bad for Trey Lance. It's just so unfortunate. And,
It's such a brutal, like just the way it all went down, and just
you knew Jimmy G wanted to get back in the lineup, but he didn't want it to happen like this. Like, I think he legitimately.
You don't know Jimmy Handsome's motives.
So
Maybe he's far more nefarious than we thought.
Yeah.
Will added Cuppy. He added Jimmy and dropped Baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked up a new tight end. I can't do zeros.
You picked
that
up the
Denver-
Jet tight end, right?
Denver.
I got the Jets, Conklin.
Conklin, yeah.
The Denver tight end Albert. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Is
Yeah,
a flop for me. But again, I think it's all Russell Wilson.
I had him. I thought in our league.
You do in our league, yes.
So what do I have? Your
across
team
the
in
board and
another
3 other
league,
ones.
basically.
Yeah.
Jefferson and Albert O.
Alberto. That's it.
Well, that's good. So even though you took me directly to the Woodhouse, at least it affected your other team.
I do have
I'm just-
Josh Allen across the board, so
Do you?
yeah, I went 3-1 in my 4 leagues this week. Yeah,
Right.
He's scary, man. I'm interested to see what happens at my birthday game now. That could be an early day. I have tickets to Chiefs Bills for my birthday.
Nice.
Nice.
That
sorry, I was going to say, what's the start time for that tentatively right now, Michael?
It's 3.
Okay. Yeah, that might.
I
get
took the
flexed.
next day off.
Yeah, I was going to say, you may. Are you going to call it because that may get flexed? Let's be honest.
Funny enough, I don't think work will ever challenge me on a call-in again. My second bout of COVID happened when Bengals Chiefs playoff game, and
Yeah.
I was at the game, and the next day I tested positive, and they're like, "Oh, no way, you're making it." I came in, popped.
Wow.
So now I've built that level of trust I can really mess with.
oh, may as well take advantage.
Right. I was like, yeah, on the phone with him, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't believe me either. Somebody's like, oh, I'm going to the playoff game this week, and then calls in Monday.
Hey, that's what happened with my dad. We got back from Las Vegas, and he tested positive.
I kind of knew it just because I knew the feeling already.
Oof.
Kind of like this.
Num, 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 num. Yeah.
Num, 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 num. At this moment, Chris was terrified. Num, 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 num.
I love that look on Chris's.
That's pretty good.
It's funny that, like, I think Chris's reaction is better than that.
Yeah.
Clip courtesy of Rosko.
Yeah, Rosko's got some beauties, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Yeah, the best was last week on Roscoe's channel. The week before, I was bitching that there's no way the Seahawks are going to win and all this. And then, sure enough, Roscoe had it queued up. What was that you said about Seattle, Chris? And hits the play button.
Ouch.
Yeah, but Geno Smith. I still can't believe he's starting in the NFL. But anyways.
Hey, not to hijack this off of football, but because of our conversation Saturday night, Chris, did you watch AEW last night?
AEW?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Oh. In 2022, I had to check my calendar at one point. Arthur Ashe Stadium was chanting for Billy Gunn. And I was like, what in the hell year is this? I mean, he's a manager now, but I was like, damn.
And Brother Bart nowhere to be
2022.
found, right? Yeah.
In 2022, Billy Gunn is more over than he's ever been.
Incredible.
Yeah, in the weirdest possible way. There's this group called The Acclaimed that he is now the de facto manager of. And they do this thing called Scissor Me Daddy Ass. They call him Daddy Ass, and they all do this. But anyway, Arthur Ashe Stadium packed, sold out, New York. Now, I mean, loud. And they're all chanting, "Oh, scissor me, daddy." And I was like, oh, this is weird. But I mean, he's had weirder gimmicks.
They had an outdoor match at.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. Sold out.
Flushing
Crazy.
Meadows, is it not?
I just know it's New York. Where is
It's
it?
that tennis stadium is right near Citi Field.
Oh, okay.
I still
like-
don't know where that
Right,
is.
yeah, right near it. Right, very close.
Oh, okay. Got it. Right over there.
Yeah, they did pretty well. It was a loud, rowdy crowd.
All right. What's our big? All right. So we said we were kind of 50-50 on the Steeler Brown game tonight. We think.
Who do I play? I think the Steelers will win.
As much as I would like to, I think the Browns take it. I can't see it. Luck is not on the side.
I still like the Steelers by a field goal.
I'm taking the Browns. I think Chubb's going to have a big day, and I think they'll probably try to work Kareem Hunt in there. And I don't know if I don't know. We'll see what Trubisky can do, but they got to change a few things, open it up a little bit.
Is Nick the comic nerd the guy that does this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well,
That's a good point. Watt's out, right? He's hurt. Yeah. I think I'd have to go Browns. Browns and a good running game. Let's just hope we get a good game, right?
That's the thing. Good game and hopefully no injuries.
Right.
That's all I'm looking for.
There's been a few rough ones already this year.
Oof. Yes.
How did the last update I saw on the Bills player? He was
Dane Jackson.
Yeah, he was good, right? No, nothing.
No, nothing permanent. A lot of bruising, apparently, some swelling. But I heard he did a walkthrough today, so he may even play Sunday.
Oh wow!
Which is good because he's the de facto fill-in for Tre'Davious White right now. But yeah, that was a frightening hit.
Yeah,
it reminded me a lot of Everett back in the early 2000s. That Bill that was that got hurt really bad on a
the kickoff.
Freakish play, yeah, and thank God they had the crew that they did for that game to help Everett. But yeah, this Dane Jackson, it was just a freak thing. Like the Bills' middle linebacker, that tall kid, his name is Edmonds. Rolled over the player and caught his head and snapped it way back the wrong direction.
And whenever
as soon as that ambulance came out, I was like, "This is flashback time now."
You don't see the ambulance come out on the field much.
No.
Yikes, that's scary.
Like even when Ryan Shazier went down, I don't think they brought the ambulance out.
I think it was a game.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, it sounds like it's going good for the kid. Hopefully, even if he doesn't play anymore, at least he'll be able to walk.
Yeah,
that was frightening.
Yeah, Trey Lance is gone for the season.
Starting running back.
The Chiefs kind of trolled their own fan base this week. They do that. I think I've mentioned it before, how they do a weekly radio show through the local grocery stores, Hy-Vee. And this week they did it where you had to buy like some package of cookies and then scan the QR code, and maybe you would get to go to Arrowhead on Tuesday night and get your picture with the cheerleaders and Casey Wolf and maybe a player to be named. Well, nobody really did it. So like they didn't even sell out if you entered, you won. And it ended up being Mahomes. And then people flocked to Twitter like, this is ridiculous. You should have told us. I would have bought those cookies. I was like,
that's what you get. That's what you get.
Idiots.
Exactly. It serves them right.
Yeah, maybe you should have bought those crappy cookies. I didn't because they looked terrible. I don't like cake frosting on sugar cookies. That's not fancy.
You so fancy.
It tastes like poverty to me. It's like, hey, we couldn't afford a birthday cake for you this year, so we got you sugar cookies with cake frosting.
Tastes like poverty.
And worse yet, it's red and yellow, the colors of ketchup and mustard.
Oh.
Just disappointing cookies.
Mahomes, that's awesome.
Would it be they taste like poverty?
Well, too bad they didn't use ketchup and mustard instead of icing. That would have really been a.
I think Michael Scott did that once. Didn't Michael Scott put mustard on a cookie? Oh.
He ran for a cure for rabies. Anyways, okay. No. So, Mike, at those events, does the player actually sign? Like, could they have gotten Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
God, man.
And the best part is you can go on Hy-Vee's Facebook, and they have all the pictures from it, and you can see the empty tables. They had to like clear to the side because they didn't get enough people to.
Wow.
Because it wasn't enough to go meet the team mascot and cheerleaders and an unguaranteed player to be named. And then they ended up getting Mahomes. The people who were there looked really happy.
Right.
Sure.
I would have been breaking away from that line, going to buy helmets and jerseys and coming back. Like, what's he going to do? Say no?
Well, and you were at the stadium, so I'm sure you could have gone to the pro shop if you needed to.
That's freaking nuts.
Oh, man.
Now, I wonder what the under-over is on the sellout for their next event.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought I told it on this, but that's our first full day here when we moved here. My local Hy-Vee that's like a couple blocks away. And Hy-Vee's the grocery store we shopped at back home in Iowa, too. So we were like, oh, perfect. There's a Hy-Vee by our house. We'll go there. We just needed a couple things like eggs and toilet paper kind of deal. And we ran over there, and I couldn't figure out why people in Chiefs gear were like running past us to the door. And it was because Mahomes was going to be there, and they announced it right before it happened. Like, in 1 hour, Patrick Mahomes will be at this Hy-Vee. And so we walked in, and this lady has these raffle tickets, and she's like, oh, so you need one ticket or two? And I was like, for what? And they're like, oh, to meet Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, okay. It was so weird, though. Like, I was like, why is Patrick Mahomes here? Because I didn't know anything about it yet, or that Hy-Vee did this. I was like, so then I post a picture on my Facebook, and people are like, how did you meet Mahomes? I was like, oh, he comes by your house and introduces himself
whenever you move.
Delivers the season tickets himself.
Yeah.
Did you get any picture of him, like putting the eggs in your cart or anything?
Actually, the best part is I was holding toilet paper at the time.
Perfect.
Beckerman had him take his groceries out and tipped him.
You gonna bag these, buddy?
A clean crisp $1 for. Hey, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
You sure know how to make a guy feel welcome.
That's funny.
All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes before kickoff.
Already?
So I don't know if you guys want to go around the horn here. Let us know what you guys coming up. Maybe here I'll highlight everybody. Chris will give you if I can figure it out. There you go.
Whoa!
I know you've got the big 800 subscriber giveaway coming up.
Yeah, but first, all seriousness, Saturday, everyone, on Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics, Only Slabs is going to be happening at 2:30 Eastern. Check your local times. I'm not sure. But Nerdy Girl is going to be the guest, and this legitimately could be the first time that an Action Comics 1 makes its first appearance on Only Slabs. We've had a few Amazing Fantasy 15s. We've had a few single-digit Batman and I believe a Detective 28. We've had some real special books show up, aside from everyone's love of their own personal PC. But the big monster books that the average person knows about. this could be the first time we see an Action 1. And I'm really excited to see what she shows up with because, as we all know, she does have a lot of big-time books. Sunday, Mark and I will be doing Two Cool Guys. This is a part where Mike says, good show, terrible name. And Sunday night, I'll probably be jumping on Legion of Comics for At Week's End. And then Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing my 800 subscriber celebration where I'm going to be giving away an Amazing Spider-Man 75 In-Hyuk Lee variant. I have it right here. I'll be giving this away as a grand prize.
Ooh.
And I'll also be giving away all of these books donated by my LCS Retro Rocket Comics, and they're all special books. It's not just blah. They're all ratio variants, number ones, all store specials. And here, let's just grab a random one. Oh, a Deadpool 1 sketch variant.
Sketch cover, nice.
All right. I know that there's a Cable 1 in 100 ratio in there. Oblivion Song number 1. What's the Nick Fury Secret Invasion? There's a Secret Invasion number 1 in there, and I know that book is taken off right now. But yeah, thanks, Brian. I appreciate that, my man.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I do. And then the Bills, 1 o'clock. I won't be available anywhere.
Sunday at 1, yeah.
Sunday at 1. I'm not available. Thanks, Brian.
All right. Good stuff. Brad, what do you got going on?
I've got work going on. That's why this is my first.
All right.
This is my first dive back in. I've hit the chat for a couple of things, but work's been super crazy lately. But so yeah, Southpaw Brad on YouTube and on Instagram. There's content to watch there in my absence for the near future. But I'll use my time slot to CBC Awards. Don't forget to go vote.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we've got
Chris is going to win all.
525 votes in.
6.
Zach? No. Did you have Jank Thursday today or no? Did I?
No, I still took a little time off just dealing with the arm and the shoulder, but it's coming back, and yeah, I got mail day, and actually I got some card slabs coming back, and to reveal why all of a sudden I'm starting to take cards for the Jank Hall of Fame, which was your idea, by the way. You brought it up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run with this thing. Oh, yeah, and thank you, Cash and Dad. I lost another one, and my punishment for losing this pack battle is now a 20-second speech extolling the virtues of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
ouch.
Ooh, man. I don't know if I would even take that bet.
Do you need me to call Amnesty International? That sounds cruel and unusual.
Pretty sure that violates some part of the Geneva Convention. And
definitely.
I'll put the Canadian Army on full alert, man. You may need some help.
But he got me fair and square 2-1.
Yeah, that was a close one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking Astros, and thank God I looked it up. It's like, oh, Lee Smith is in the Hall of Fame. Not that it matters, because I have 1 point. But other than that, hopefully just starting to get back into normal mode again. If the Steelers don't take what's left of my sanity in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll check back with you around
10:30,
11 tonight.
Yeah.
Beckerman, what were you dropping your first video?
Every Monday, Tuesday when he drops the ball, Alan Rue and I do a show, and this week it was Tuesday again. I'm very disappointed in him. I'd also plan on eating a pot pie this weekend. And of course on Sunday I'll be watching Two Wonderful Men, One Terrible Name.
Oh.
But now
it'll never get old, Mike. It'll never get old.
Since you brought it up, no, you asked for it this time. I wouldn't have even said it, but since you realized
it's nominated.
It is a nominated
Cool
show.
guys.
Yeah,
Prove
it's
me
nominated.
wrong. You proved me wrong this past weekend. Prove me wrong again and win a.
Well, I don't know, man. It's up
But
against
it is a good
OnlyFans
show,
and-
so it should win an award. It shouldn't win an award based on name, but it should win an award.
Yeah, it's like this show, the comic book community fantasy football. We need to come up with a better name than that.
Run with it. It's perfect.
Well, when the name's bad, that's when you know the content really is solid. You know, if the
Yeah.
name's
Yeah.
bad and you still get nominated for an award, that's when
Kind of
you
like
know
my
the real-
theory on like the sketchier a shack looks, the longer the line outside for food or barbecue
Right?
is.
Yeah, those
Like-
dives, man.
Shack is on the side of the road and looks like it's going to fall over. Get ye some.
Yeah,
Best hot dog I've ever had was in a building that literally looked like it was about to tip over in Chicago.
Dilapidated dogs. Love it.
Oh my goodness. And the lady owning it was so surly. Like I tried to give her a 50 and you would have thought I was like hurling racial epithets around there. Like, I don't take 50s. Like, okay,
Right.
sorry. I'm really sorry. What if I bought 50 hot dogs? Could I pay with 50? Jeez.
Brian, what you got going on this week?
I have my Saturday morning show, Breakfast with Brian, with 10 a.m. Saturday mornings. So that's the. I have no 411 this week. I was on vacation for a couple days, so didn't get a guest lined up, but should be back next week. I have a few guests lined up. Actually, may get Gary B, the casual comic guy, may be coming on. He's always interviewing everybody, so trying to get him to sit down and be interviewed. So hopefully that's going to happen. But yeah, Breakfast with Brian, and I'll have got some other videos, planned. Probably a Monday mail call and chat. I'll be hanging out in a lot of chats and that, I'm sure, this weekend. So
Nice.
but yeah. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight, talking a little fantasy football. Enjoy the game tonight. Good luck in your weekly matchups. We've got
Good
some.
luck, everybody.
Yeah, thanks to the chat for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Rosko. Rosko. So
If
probably
I
next week we'll have somebody else hopefully host whoever's up for it. So we'll definitely we'll definitely be back on Thursdays, but we'll probably round robin the channel so that we can let some other league members host. So
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
all right, we'll leave you. Let's see. Roscoe did send me one other clip, so let's leave you with that. Let me see. Where is it?
Better not be me.
I hope it is.
No, it is.
No, it's Mr. Beckerman's partner here. He's featured in this.
You traded
The
the
Tyreek Hill,
fastest,
the cheetah.
the fastest skill player in the NFL. In the NFL.
I
Done,
did.
no said, in the NFL. You traded him for a number 2.
I had to. Well, Keenan Allen is getting old.
I mean, he
I
could
think
take
Waddle
it. I
is
didn't
going to
ask
have a
for
better
him.
fantasy season than Tyreek Hill is.
I'll tell you what. How about you say Waddle's going to have a better fantasy season than Tyreek Hill? You're saying it right here. I have a wager for you. I will
Okay.
put next year's first-round pick on the line.
Okay. I'll take it with you.
Done.
That's huge. That's awesome. All right. Remember this. Everybody in the chat, write that down.
Tyreek Hill will have a better fantasy season than Waddle.
Okay.
Oh my!
Roscoe, the
he-
clip master.
That was fun.
I mean, he's my partner, but I kind of hope he loses. Only because I'm a huge fan of smack talk going wrong.
But did he didn't commit to continue playing if he lost his first pick. So he
No, that's true.
Oh, he's going
You
to
gotta
dump
go-
a team on
Yeah.
somebody with no first.
We need to
I should
leave
collect his
Brian
league.
Flynn on that
I guess I should collect his league fees now, huh? For next
Right.
season.
I would.
You get a keeper league.
Lock him in.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Enjoy the game. Have a great Friday, great weekend.
right,
Thanks to the chat for coming out. Roscoe, hope you're feeling better.
Later, Rosko.
We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.